Let's just do a quick recording check. Test. How are we today, Mel?
I'm fabulous. Thank you, Lockie.
And Arna, how are we today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Yeah, it's a little bit different when the mic's on, but here we go. So we're back at it again.
We're back.
We're down here in Fitzroy, and we have a fantastic guest, Arna. Welcome, Arna. Welcome to the Fashion and Half a Moustache. Mel is here as per usual.
Yes.
Thank you.
Here we go. We got the air conditioner on. It was a hot day, wasn't it?
It's steaming in here, but you know what? I think it's just us.
Well, exactly.
You got to cash those checks when they're cut. That's absolutely
Exactly.
right. Absolutely. So, Mel, today, what's on the show card for today?
We're
You've got
talking
a
star
topic.
signs, Lockie.
Star signs.
Yep.
You look out in the sky when it's dark, and those
Absolutely.
things mean something. That's fun.
Yes. Now,
It's exciting.
the reason Arna is such a great candidate for this topic is because we met in Pilates class.
Pilates.
One of the first things Arna asked me was, what star sign are you? You know, just general chit chat. And I'm not like heavily into it, but I do know a few things. And so we, started talking about that sort of stuff. And, then one thing led to another. And I'm like, oh, she would be great for this topic. So I asked her to come along today. And
Well, I think you picked quite well because
Yes.
it's a new topic that we don't think
We
we've
haven't
really
dived
touched on this
into
at
this.
all.
No,
at all.
no.
So
no.
and me, a lot of this stuff I have almost no background in at all. I've had run-ins, but I'd say that's very different to mentally I've got like a big cardboard box that just has stuff I don't quite understand or have a current use for. Although I'm sure there would be many arguments against that, but I'm looking forward to being enlightened.
Yes, so we've got expert, mid-expert,
Nothing.
nothing. So this is going to be
Blank
a
as the
very
surface of the
interesting
moon.
conversation. All right, let's
Wonderful.
do it.
So Arna, give us a little background. What do you can be as vague as you want, but what do you kind of do day to day? How did you get into the knowledge of the stars? Is that just something that's always been there, or
No, the obsession has grown over the years.
what started? Do you have like a memory where you're like, wow, I'm going to look into this further?
Yeah, I just discovered more about my star sign and how much I loved like resonating with my star sign in terms of like my personality. And so I just got more fascinated with that. And then by obviously understanding myself a lot more, I was able to feel like I could actually hold more weight into understanding other people by kind of knowing a little bit more about their star sign traits.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What was that first kind of realize? Was it just kind of like, this is how you should interact with this, or what was it kind of like useful?
Or like relationships and stuff.
Or did you just feel like amazing at the end of the day and you're like, I'm going to chase that further?
I was always into it, but it wasn't until I actually did my birth chart that there were things that really resonated with me that actually allowed me to understand myself a lot better. And as a Virgo, we're very self-critical of ourselves. So to read something that helped me understand a little bit of a deeper part of my personality made me appreciate that part of my personality rather than kind of weigh myself down and criticize myself for it. So that was like an eye-opener because I felt like it was quite detailed and I was like, wow, I was kind of hit in the face.
Okay.
So then other people were also, people that I was like, hey, come and do your chart. We were doing like their birth charts and it was wild. Like there were personality things that came out of that you just couldn't even look at the other person next to you that we weren't doing the chart for and go, oh, that's you. It was so deeply like detailed to that person and a very particular personality. So I felt like that was fascinating. So to me, in terms of astrology, like there's that whole other deeper side to it, not just like your star sign and the stereotypes. Even though they do assist, it's that whole like navigation through like your birth chart, which is really interesting.
Is like, Pisces and in the first house or something, there's like all these different things
so
and like
detailed.
moon and like sun and rising and things like that. There's all these different things, which I'm very like basic. I know the basics, but when it comes to what house and rising signs and stuff like that, I'm like, I have no idea about that. So I haven't dove in as deep as you have, but it's very interesting.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I could talk about many topics at length.
Because on here,
go on. Yeah.
Virgo is practical, analytical, detail-orientated, helpful, organized, perfectionist, observant. That's just the basic description
Yeah.
of. Would you say that that's you?
Yes.
Yeah. Every single one.
Every single one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And Lockie, you said you're Libran.
Libra. The old.
So Libra is charming. I knew you'd like that one.
It's always the one you open on,
Fair-minded. I'd have to agree with that. Romantic. Well, I haven't really seen that side of you, but I feel like you would be if you met the right person.
Well, we've had a few relationship podcasts. I think I've shared a bit there. It was a while ago, though.
Yeah. Values harmony, beauty, balance, and relationships.
That's one thing I've always lived by. And we haven't pre-planned this.
No.
Like, I didn't even know you had this list here.
Oh.
I've always thought balance is really important, because without balance, how can you walk? How could I put a book on my head and do anything? I've always said balance is key.
That is such a Libra thing.
But I will own that.
Yeah. But that sometimes that can get you into trouble because you're just wanting balance in everything, and life doesn't always work that way. You have to be able to tip the scale and take a leap of faith.
Well, yeah.
That's very well put.
A lot of things are a little bit like on a bicycle. If you know how the front actually swivels. If you froze that, and a dude on, I think YouTube did. I just saw this the other day. He made it so you actually can't turn right, and when you can't turn right on a bicycle, you actually can't turn left. Because when you actually steer, you actually dip one way and then go the other. So even in steering, just simple as a bike, like everything's backwards. It's like you have to go right to go left.
Yeah, okay.
It's really
interesting.
That's too much for me to think about right now.
Because every time he just fell over sideways. It was crazy. And he tried really, really hard. And then he welded it the other way, so it could only like go right. And then he all of a sudden couldn't turn left.
Yeah, okay.
Or the opposite of that. He couldn't turn.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, it's kind of interesting how, physics and life, there's a lot of those things where it's like, stuff you put out, you get back, actions and reactions. It's all very, probably from a more logical standpoint from my end. But a lot of that stuff makes sense to humans because that's what we do.
Yes.
And Libras are very logical.
Yep.
You like to lead with your logic.
I'll be walking on that logic.
I know quite a few Librans, and I have to say they are like that, but also super emotional. Like, if something goes wrong, it's like, holy moly, the world is gonna end. And it's like, not so much with you though, Lockie. Maybe it's a male-female thing here, but it's like, yeah, I've never seen anything like it. And I think that's why Aries and Librans work together so well because, I classify myself as an Aries, but like when you sort of get us together, the Aries basically slaps the shit out of the Libran and being like, what the hell? Life could be worse. Let's get a grip here. You know what I mean? Like, snap out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's why they work so well. Because, it's like one extra, like almost like a little bit airy-fairy or off with the fairies or whatever. And then the Aries will come in and be like, hey,
Fire.
let's get back on track. Like, wake up. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Qualifying question,
Like,
kind of branching off of there. Like, obviously, a lover of justice and fairness, I think, are the few things you rattled off there. Being the resident expert, so I'm surely there must be some sort of like, there's 12 star signs?
Yes, there's 12 in total.
So there's 12. Now, I would say that having a justice streak, because I've heard justice streak used in many circumstances, especially with like some people with like Angelman syndrome, which is I think, I want to say it's, what is the word for the thing that we have? Chirons.
I got no idea what you're talking about.
Telomeres. The things with our genes, XXY chromosomes. That's the one. So I think it's a chromosome deletion problem, or there's extra chromosome information. But they say that Angelman syndrome people, first of all, they're the happiest people in the world. Like, they just ooze goodness and whatever.
Okay.
But, I think one of the things that they have is a really strong justice streak.
Okay.
So I find it interesting how, technically speaking, and this is a little bit nitpicky, but I think it's kind of in the mix of, so just because you have a trait, are we saying that it's a tendency of people born in this time to have this trait? Or is it more something that's shared but can be also had in other places? If that is even a question.
Yeah, I understand what you're sort of saying. Well, I guess in terms of like when you're born, in terms of the season of the star signs, it's all got to do with planetary alignment.
And the time that you're born and things like that.
So and so then with that, you have other planets, etc., affecting the time that you're born. So you could have other traits that are additional to the other star signs, if that makes sense. So if, like, for example, I really appreciate the word expert. I don't know how expert I am, but for example, across my birth chart, at least 4 of the quadrants are in Virgo, which means I'm heavily Virgo. So like when I read about Virgo as a personality,
right,
or even just hey, this is what's happening this week, I can often
relate,
really connect with it.
Yeah.
But if I'm a Virgo that only has like a few in my chart, I may kind of read a few things and go, oh, that's kind of me.
Yeah, because what date are you?
I'm the 25th of August.
The 25th. Okay, so you're like at the start. You're at the start of Virgo.
At the start,
yeah.
But I feel very
But you're a
Virgo.
few days in. Yeah.
Okay.
What are you, Lockie?
16th October.
Oh, you're smack bang in the middle, pretty
What
much.
are you?
So mine is a little controversial.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Typical Aries.
This is
Here we go.
Oh, from 2 different perspectives.
Never
That's
easy.
great.
Yeah.
So you're going to laugh because my birthday is the 21st of April. So that technically makes me a Taurus because Aries ends on April 19th. But Taurus starts on April 20th. So
Hang on.
all my life, I thought I was Taurus, but I never could relate to it. I'd read things and I'd be like, I don't know, this doesn't make sense to me. And my sister is Taurus. She's like proper Taurian. And I just could never relate. Like, I'm not like you. You know what I mean? Like, we are different in some ways. And so, like, I started reading Aries and I could relate to that a lot more, but I'd always read both. And Aries made more sense to me. And then I went to see a card reader.
Tarot reader.
Oh,
how exciting.
And she's like, oh, what star sign are you, blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, I'm a Taurus. And she goes, no, honey, no. You're Aries. And I'm like, I always thought I was.
That's crazy.
She just literally pulled me up. We'd barely started the reading. And she was like, no, honey, you're Aries to a T. And my dad is an Aries. He was born on the 16th of April. And he is the definition of an Aries man. And like, we are very similar, me and my dad. So it was like, it always just made more sense to me when I was reading Aries. Because you know how in the family, like, I know we used to like read each other's star signs and stuff. And so I'd go, I can relate a lot more to dads than I can to Tennille's, my sister. And I was like, this isn't making sense to me. And then as I got older, I'm like, I'm just not Taurus.
Were you definitely born on the 21st?
Yeah.
But
4 a.m. in the morning.
To the minute? Sorry.
Yeah.
We should do your chart.
Yeah.
But weren't you saying that it could have like something like delayed or something? And it's like, so if this didn't you, like, this is months ago you were telling me this, but you were like, so if that didn't happen. I would have been born the other day, and then that just means I'm something completely different.
I don't know.
I'm like, well, what do you mean? Because, you know, that my comeback to that was, well, isn't it great that we have these star signs and all this astrological information that perfectly coincides with the 24-hour clock and the Julian calendar? And I always found that to be quite like, oh, really? So it ends on that day, not like 2 hours and 33 minutes into like, you know, like 2:33 a.m. That's when the planetary time like interlinks. And I'm just kind of like, that's because the Julian calendar is not that old. It's pretty young compared to, you know, because we didn't know what to do with all these extra days because the year wasn't exactly, 400 days, and it's a little hard to divvy up. So even just looking into the history of calendar making is very interesting, and that China runs off a completely different one altogether.
Yes.
From their leader. So, and then I think China actually has their own astrological signs
we were talking about
system.
that before.
And they...
but what's it called again?
Oh,
that's a hard question.
Yeah,
that's even just pronounce it properly would be difficult, I'm sure.
Yeah, okay.
But with not Xi Jinping's thing, but I don't know, whenever they made their new calendar, they run with 2 dates every day. So imagine how confusing that would be.
Whoa.
Probably a lot of money to make if you're like, well, I can interpret between the two. I'm like a translator. I can see that'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
But I always found that interesting how have we made, because obviously stars have been along, and I'm sure this stuff goes back to the first night anyone went to sleep and then woke up in the middle of the night and said, this has got to mean something, but it's funny now. I wonder how many times little things have changed, or perhaps how we've changed what it meant to individuals, or people look at them and they make it make sense to themselves with their circumstance. Because, we're not running on a Mayan calendar that only ran, the world was going to end. The calendar ran out because they didn't write anymore. They're like, if we're still alive, we'll figure it out.
Everyone thought the world was going to end.
So even with the human element, it kind of is maybe not conflicting, but it creates a lot of spin. And I think how that's interpreted is really a lot of it as well. Because, we all have our interpretations. Like you'd meet someone and they'd give you some piece of advice, and that's what our life is. It's a lot of connections, and, you take a little bit of something away from that. You take a little bit from everyone, and that's kind of who you are as a personal makeup.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
we were talking about that before. Like if you meet someone and it's, maybe a love relationship or whatever, it's like, do you judge someone based on their star sign? I think it's the road.
Yeah, it sounded weird.
Yeah, someone's losing it out there, just beeping away. And it's like, I am like that a little bit. Like if I meet someone and they're like, I am a Scorpio, for example. I had a very tumultuous relationship with an ex-boss of mine who was like very, I don't know, we would just clash. So ever since then, any Scorpio I met, I'd be like, oh, you're a Scorpio. Mind you, then I dated one for about 9 months, and totally different. So it's like, different relationships and things like that. I don't know. It just depends, but yeah.
Yeah, they also feel that like if you're Taurus, for example, if you're an April Taurus or a May Taurus, they can be quite different. Well.
Yeah.
It seems to be a thing. I don't know how sort of true that is. But
and again, that's really curious. It's like May versus April instead of like May 2nd versus like, another day that's like slightly in the middle. Like, I that's fascinating to me because all of this, it sounds a lot like, now that I'm thinking about it, in school you'd do like one of those fantastic, we're going to figure out who you are. And I think The Simpsons did a great version of this. It's like, are you going to be a lawyer bird or a garbage gopher? And it's clearly like a simple personality test to figure out what job they're going to have.
Yeah.
But when I was in school, it was like, are you an owl? Are you a lion? Are you an otter? Or are you a...
I remember doing that.
And all the leaders turned out to be like lions. The kids good at sport and all that kind of stuff. The nerds were all owls, and otters were like the arts students. I don't know. I remember that was happening in class once. I'm like, and I'd just gone through this whole Jung thing with some event or something like that, and someone's like, oh, you are an ENEE or whatever. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And we got to the meat and bones of it, and you do this long test. It's like 75 questions, and you get like a 4-letter word. So there's 16 types, 4 more obviously than star signs. And it would be like I'm an ENTP, which I think is extroverted, intuitive, thinking, persona. Can't remember what it stands for, but there's 2 of each. So E can either be E or whatever the other letter is, and they're all like 50-50s. That's how you get all the letters. And I was reading this thing. It's like, once you have your 4-letter thing, you plug it into here, and it's like, you have a very strong justice streak, and, you know, this is very important and to you, and, you know, this, and you had other pages, like, what do you like as a lover? What are you as a fighter? You know, what do you do? How do you react? I'm like, this is like reading my own biography. I'm not even dead yet, you know? And I told the teacher, I'm like, hey, this test is a little bit ridiculous. How about we do this one instead? And, you know, I'd already done one, so I got to walk around the class and do nothing. But I was looking over some people's shoulders, and
it's the charismatic personality coming through. Anyway,
but I was looking around, and I had, like, because I had looked at and read through all the pages, I started to like pick certain people as certain things. And you know, the questions are like, you know, if an old lady was needing help, what would you do? Or true or false, kind of like those kind of questions. And I picked pretty closely a couple of people. Like, all the leaders were all ENFPs. That's your typical A personality type thing. So anyway, so I read through all of that, and I had put a lot of weight into this, and I redid the test every year, because they say when you're 16, you know, your personality isn't fully formed yet. But I was getting ENTP every time, and you'd have like a 50% mark of all the letters. And like where you were. So like, you could be very close to you know, on the line. You actually gave you a percent of how close you were. So how much of this mix you were, like introverted, extroverted, would give you what line you're on. So that even had like a mathematical halfway. Yeah. So you weren't like, oh, you're an E. No, you're like 49% E, or you're 51%. You're pretty close to the line. So you could have traits for both. Right. So it kind of has that in between thing. But then I started realizing, I feel like this is like those, because once you start reading it, and I think when TikTok came out, this is a few years ago, so I believe this for like 10 years, and then these TikToks or these videos came out, and they're just kind of like, here's your like word for today as an ENTP. I'm like, okay, and then I'm like, I wonder if I just read someone else's or listen to someone else's. And I'm like, well, that could apply to anyone. And I felt like it was almost as if someone had been like, how can we make a new horoscope thing and make money out of it? Yeah. And they've gone, let's do exactly the same thing. 75 questions, doesn't matter when you're born. And let's make 16 of them. It feels like a whole new thing. So I don't know, but I definitely felt the same thing when I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but I remember the same thing when I read a few horoscopes, and I covered the labels and cut them all up and then put them into a bag and pulled one up. I'm like, well, that could apply to me. Yeah, that one's true. Down at the name, like, oh, that's Taurus. That's not me at all. Yeah. And the other thing I was going to do that Mel kind of stuffed up when I got here was I was going to tell you
what were you gonna do?
My star sign, and be like, well, I'm actually I only know like 3 of them. I would say Aquarius or something. And you're like, yeah. and one thing I've seen online or seen people do is they're like, oh, you do seem like an Aquarius. And then they're like, oh, sorry. I mean Libra. And they're like, I knew you were a Libra. and like, I've seen that multiple times. Like, do you see that? Do you see like a similar thing happening where they've always got it's
not really.
Really?
No, I actually get a lot of people wanting me to guess their star sign, but I feel like I need to know them a lot more. But
I think that's a very fair point, because again, I was like picking out people in the crowd and being like, yeah, probably that. And it worked, you know?
Yeah.
I had a circumstance after a dance rehearsal, and we'd all finished and we all went outside, and everyone was just naturally chatting. This was late at night.
Yeah.
And one of the guys was like looking at all the cars, and he's like, I reckon that's Tony's car. I reckon that's Susie's car. And I just turned to him and I was like, are you a Virgo? And he's like, yeah, I am. I was like, how do you know? And I said, because everyone else is busy talking, but we're so observant. We notice all the details, even if we don't talk about them. And so that's how I felt. I was like, only a Virgo would be caring about whose car. I find that fascinating, because we're always trying to work stuff out. Yeah. Anyway, so like that was I was like, oh, bullseye. Yeah, I guess that one, right? But I wouldn't naturally say that happens all the time.
Well, nothing ever always happens all the time. I think it's, you just find those moments. And I also think as well, and I'm not saying nothing doesn't exist or anything does exist, but I definitely think that, the mind is so beautiful with, have you ever seen that movie, it's
Beautiful
one with Will.
Mind, or?
No, it's one with Will. It's one with Will Smith, and they're stealing everything. The whole movie.
The Son?
Not the son.
As in like Will and his son, and the son?
Not his son. It's Will Smith and a girl, and I think it's called like Hustle or something like that.
I feel like I have seen
and they're like the whole movie they're like playing a gig on each other, so they just keep stealing from everyone. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, so in the final scene of the movie, I'm kind of real. Well, no one knows what the movie is anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they have this guy and they're doing this big scam on this guy, and they get like even the lapels, the carpets have like 33 written in them like everywhere. They get him on room 33, and he's thinking 33 all day. And then they get him to guess a number from a crowd or something like that. And, he's like, 33. And then he's like, that's the number. You got to give me all your money. And so I think it's interesting as well that humans, once they lock into something, especially like I see a lot of 1111s, like when you start thinking that and you turn that in, those opportunities arise for you to notice 1111. Because like, after a while, if you set your alarm every day, you start waking up 5 minutes beforehand.
That time,
like once your body's switched on to something, you're very good at picking up that either the energy or just something like an intuition of being like, there it is again. I'm seeing it.
And like angel numbers and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a good thing because I think that would lower stress in a lot of people. It would. Be calming, reassuring, to look for good things, to always be thinking, I'm looking for that next positive sign.
Oh, that was a positive thing,
And that's a really, I think, a healthy thing to do rather than being like, here's another problem. Yeah. And if you look for the problems, you'll find them, But I wonder if there's an element or something that kind of pushes it along in the right direction of, positivity, to be like, I'm opening myself to being aware of these things that are positive and then getting rewarded with a little bit of, endorphin into the old the old dome there going, I feel good, 11:11, that's good. What am I thankful for? That's all like good endorphins but yeah, there's a little bit to it, I think.
It would be. I see angel numbers all the time, and I see 11 on the clock all the time, and it is reassuring, but even though I'm into all this stuff, I'm such the biggest skeptic. Like, as in, I'm trying in all circumstances of my life, I'm trying to go, no, that's not true. Or I'm trying to disconnect from my intuition. Like, I'm trying. I'm going like, I don't want to assume how I feel or whatnot as association to, like, for example, angel numbers. But I will say I see 1111 and 111 all the time at the most like craziest moments. And even when I'm having a crisis or a moment in my mind and I'm asking a question to myself, and then I'm like, surely it can't be like that's what's going on with that person or whatnot. And then I just happen to look at my phone. I'm like, it's 4:11. And I was like, again, you're trying to tell, what are you trying to tell me? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's it's really interesting. And I'm like, gee, that's so crazy. Like, I asked that question and then it's like that, I don't know if it's a reassurance, but just maybe I am on the right track with something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's really freaky because I'm not seeking for my phone. I haven't looked at my phone and then I happen to see that 11 past whatever time is, or that 333 or that 222. Yeah. It's interesting. I want to not believe that there's something attached to it, but it's so interesting when it happens as well. Sometimes it's not just like whatever when it happens. It's when you're in a thought as well.
Yeah. I definitely think there's something to it. And even like, we can go right into it and be, even like affirmations and things like that. I definitely think if you rewire your brain to think positively and, that you say those affirmations every day, positive things will start happening. Because if you think negatively all the time, then negative things will happen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why, I don't watch the news or I don't
Not
do
a lot of good
much
stuff
that.
on there.
Yeah, I don't even watch horror films.
I just feel like it's just trying to spread like fear and hate and
Well, they did launch
negativity.
one news program where it was always good news.
Oh, that's good.
Only lasted 3 episodes.
Yeah, well, there you go.
No
There you
viewership,
go.
no viewership at all.
Wow.
It flunked.
People do love the drama as well.
Yeah.
So
They do.
that's probably why.
But cracking this open a little bit. So in my cardboard box of all of this stuff put in a corner is a few other little baubles of information. We've got star signs. We've got birth maps. We've got that kind of stuff. What about the whole... Now, you can tell me if I'm completely off topic here, but where does the whole kind of health and medicine kind of come in? For you, is there a lot of overlap with that or not so much? I'm talking about like chucking some out there, ear candling, foot patching, herbs, ginseng, all that kind of fun stuff, or mangosteens and whatever. They're all next to each other in my little mental box. But does that have a lot of crossover for you or not so much?
Not heaps, but
yeah.
Like acupuncture, cupping, all that kind of Chinese medicine, global medicine. I don't
want to touch wood here, but I've generally been a very healthy person my entire life, so I haven't had to feed too much into it, except obviously maybe muscle soreness from working out. But I think that people that are into those things or that kind of crossover, it's that kind of once again aligning yourself with the natural resources of the planet, aka the planets themselves, and I think it's an energy transfer as well.
Yeah, I think so too.
So I do think that there's some weight behind it, and also once again, I feel like it's a positive activity or a positive way to kind of connect with yourself for these other ways of, I guess, like self-healing or soothing.
Because there are some really interesting things out there. Like there's acupuncture, and then there's someone who I know. They get needling done by this gentleman. He comes to your house, brings some needles, and he jabs these long needles, probably about 15 centimeters, and he stabs it into the person I know has some hip issues. Stabs a needle really far in, probably around about 5 centimeters in, and then for the rest of the day, that particular person's like, "Oh, I'm feeling really good. It hurts, but tomorrow I'll be feeling better." I'm like, could you find something without the needles? It's like, I mean, for any kind of infection,
I don't even like needling, let alone that needling.
It's just, I don't think there should be any chance of bacteria to get that deep. I mean, they clean needles, obviously, but I don't know. It's just that kind of, and the seeing very disturbing kind of stuff. But
I feel like it's connected all to energy transfer. I have done Reiki, and
what's Reiki for I have an idea, not a sure knowledge.
Yeah, well, the experience that I've had is, I've had 2 experiences, as in a few of them, but as in like you lie there and that person just concentrates on you, maybe like actually presses their hands on you and goes down your body, connecting with your chakras. So, I could have a session, and then after that I would potentially be told like my throat chakra was quite closed off, and they've released it, etc., or whatever you want to believe here. And what's really interesting is pretty much every single one of those sessions I've either felt the next day absolutely exhausted or like just energetically lifted. And once again, I feel like I'm that person that's not seeking it. I want to be proven that it's actually not even true, and then I literally wake up and going, well, that's wild. Like,
there's something to it. And I feel like energy sticks to you as well. Like say you're in like a really toxic relationship or something like that. I don't mean, this is a little bit woo-woo, but I had my friend of mine who was in a really toxic relationship, and then after her relationship, she got out of it, she was finding it really hard to date. So getting like stood up a lot, just men being really not nice. And she was just like, oh my God, it's so exhausting. Like, what is with this? Why can't I meet a decent person, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she went to this, pretty sure she was just like a clairvoyant type thing. And the lady literally saw her and said, you have such a dark shadow, like lingering over you. And she made her like lie on the bed, and she was like saging her and like doing all of this stuff and basically releasing the bad cloud that she had hanging over her. And sure enough, like literally within, I reckon I'm probably talking months here. Like it wasn't that long, like a couple of months, and she was in like a long-term relationship.
I wonder what shifted in her mind, because that's all got to do with frequency and how much you're vibrating. Yeah.
So yeah, it was wild. Like, I mean, yeah, I guess it could just be that. It could just be like her mind shifted and she felt lighter, and therefore she had a different outlook on life from that. I don't know. Yeah. But like, you know, if it is all woo-woo, whatever it was, her perception changed and she found love. So
she would have been met at her frequency. So often, like, for example, you can be interested in somebody, but your frequencies may not be aligned. Okay. So that's why part of it, that's why it can be like not necessarily working, or why that person isn't coming towards you, because they're not meeting you at your frequency.
Right.
And so sometimes if they're at a lower frequency, you could be actually doing yourself a disservice, because you're pulling yourself down to the frequency of that person who's like, you know, always angry about things, or, you know, victim mentality. And that's not necessarily you. You actually could be quite a positive person, or want to try and see the good things.
Yes.
So if you keep trying to vibe high, not to say that you'll meet somebody, but if you do meet somebody, you will attract somebody, hopefully, at the frequency that you're transmitting at. That's why sometimes people can be in negative relationships, because they're sort of they've brought their frequency down, and they've met somebody at that frequency, not at their highest, more so healed self. If that makes sense. Yeah. And the more healed you are and the higher frequency you are, the harder it is to find people that are doing the work and actually wanting to evolve and grow. Progress, it's a lot harder, and it's a lot harder to stay in those conversations with people in general. Yeah, because you're like, I'm not even that person anymore. I couldn't care less about that stuff.
Yes,
because I just more evolved in terms of like not being part of gossip, or not caring about the color of a couch. So like, I want to talk about life and the world, and things are a bit more enlightening.
Yeah.
There's so much to talk about.
There's so much. I know we're probably getting off topic with star signs here, but
I just want to say a little bit about the star sign stuff, if that's okay. Just in relation to the birth chart, and just something you were saying makes me want to look and research a little bit more. I know you're talking about the calendar. I wonder if it's actually more to do with like the planetary alignment. So we see it as calendar in sections, but maybe just say, for example, Virgo, that's the sun and whatever planet, etc., happen to be in that sort of scientific degree. Does that make sense, to connect it to being that particular season? I'm not an expert in that, but I'm kind of curious if it's about that. And then also within your birth chart, there's other charts that are associated, and you can cross over with other people, and you can see, like, you know, if your birth chart, this is complex stuff that I really would love to know more about, but your birth chart, just say you got your north node in Venus at 7 degrees or some crazy thing like that. And then, but that particular day, somebody else's, I feel like I'm making this up right now, south node in Mars at 4 degrees, and it's not facing you, but you're facing them. And then you're wondering why they're not able to communicate with you, or they're being a little bit kind of weird and stuff. They can literally look at charts, because I've done this before with an astrologer, and it explains why, at least energetically,
it's not, the relationship's not working,
or like why that day was a little bit sort of tougher to deal with that person, or to not get the contract, or not get the job, but the other day it kind of works out. It's very interesting.
So if someone wanted to do their birth chart, they would have to go to an astrologer.
Or you can do it online.
Oh,
yeah.
What's the?
But that's a very vague. That would be very vague, or not really.
You can. I've done the short one, which is free, which is where I found my fascination with my star sign. You can pay for like a bigger one, or you can just go to someone that can do it the bigger one. Because what it is, it doesn't change. It is what it is in terms of the time that you were born.
Yeah, the location, all of that.
Well, what's the minimum amount of information you need to provide for a birth chart? Like, let's say I'm a very private person who's afraid of the government. Who knows?
Yeah,
and I want to give as little personal information as possible. What would I have to give to get that chart done, even at a basic level?
Yeah, well, exact time of birth.
Time. Okay, so what does that involve? Just give me everything. So, like, put some details together.
Like 7:01 p.m.
Yep.
Like to the minute.
Yeah.
The location, preferably
yep.
city. And then some of the charts seem to ask for gender, which is interesting because I do find not to turn to gender stuff, but yeah. But that's it. Don't have to put your name or your email.
But
if you just want the one to come up online.
That's pretty much
so
all
how much like information on the time does it? So you got the day, the month, and the time.
Yeah.
No year.
Oh, apologies.
Oh, they need date of birth.
Your actual date of birth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
that would help.
I was curious because I'm like, it surely.
Just the time of birth and location.
Well, that's what I was saying. I was just kind of like time, because I mean, like that means 7:01 for June 7th or something.
And your date of birth.
But obviously that makes sense because obviously every year would be different planets, different locations. So that's they don't change. They are where they are.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm most interested in is, what about if you're born at the exact same time in the exact same city or even the exact same hospital as somebody, let's just say same gender? Like, that's what I'm curious about.
You have the same life?
Well, you don't. But obviously there's still genetics and there's still that idea of your soul. So like that's what I find really fascinating in terms of that
and
deeper
culture,
level.
Race, like all of that would have to come into play as well.
Are you saying if I was born 3 minutes too late, I'd be from north of the equator, Melissa?
No.
I don't think so.
No, but I think it influences your personality.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So there was like hanging fruit. Yeah.
Like if you have siblings or not. Like, I feel like there's so many factors that make a person who they are.
Yeah.
What their parents were like, all that sort of stuff.
Well, that's the whole nature versus nurture debate.
Yeah. So even though you could have somebody who was born exactly the same time, exactly the same place, like they could have a very different upbringing to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's wild.
I remember once I did a chart for somebody that I knew who wanted the chart for them, but they shared it with me, so I was able to read everything, and it literally confirmed I'll just say this. There was a part of their personality that I just really disliked. And in that mini reading, it referred to that part of that personality, and it basically confirmed to me that person is just set in their way. It was a very selfish component. I really struggle with people that are very self-absorbent and quite selfish. And it was literally there in the reference to their birth chart.
This is how you are.
Yeah, and I was like, it was kind of reassuring because I was like, I can see it's just not going to change in them. It's just who they are.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Because I really struggled with it because I wasn't going to say to the person, oh, you're selfish.
Yes.
But just in terms of my relationship.
But it's good that they could then read it and be like, oh yeah, I am like that.
I don't think they read it or understood it themselves, but I could see it and going, right, that has confirmed exactly what I understood and what has really gotten under my skin with that particular person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway.
It's interesting.
Well, even with that Jung stuff, you had like your personality profile, then you had like your dark side, which was kind of like when you're not, like every good thing had like a dark side to it.
Yes.
So like ENTP, I think mine was like I'm a very inventing individual, and I always wanted to be an inventor after I wanted to be a clown when I was great. And like the opposite side of that was unable to think out of a paper bag or something like that. There was like this complete inverse, and if like everything's not right in your life or if you're not doing what you're meant to be doing, it's like this other that opposite side kind of came in.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's something exactly the same as that for, because I think that's a common thing. Like you've got
everyone
like,
has
put everything to the side for a minute. Like
Yeah.
you've got your Mel on a good day where everything's going well and vibing and whatever.
Yes.
And then there's you on the worst day of your life.
Well, it's interesting though, Lockie, because you said something to me once, and I have known that I'm like that at times, but it's interesting to hear it coming from other people. Like I remember Lockie said I can be ignorant sometimes, and I'm like 100%. That's not a good thing. But I 100% agree with you on that, because if I don't give a shit, I will literally just be like, nah, don't care. I'm switching off.
Yeah.
I'm switching off. I'm tapping out. You know what I mean? I'm walking away. And it's not a good thing, but I do it. And,
Well, it serves you.
I think
It's
we
less
all
stress.
have that, parts of ourselves that, I'm not proud of, but like, at the same time, like that is just how we are. Take it or leave it, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
But it's a real fundamental thing. You got the inverse of the good side, which is, flip the switch and then, it's like, I don't know, I'd imagine how like on a bad day, the things that might be ambiguous, you'll just take negatively, and even some slightly good things you'll still take negatively. It's like a poison pool.
Yeah.
But then when you're in a really, really, really good mood, you're like, I don't care. And something will happen that could even be moderately bad. And, it's just kind of additive and multiplicative, I think.
Exactly.
Which is very, very powerful, I think. But rolling back to the energy question, I've heard this. I wasn't planning on talking about it, but I'm glad you mentioned it. Vibrational frequency. So what are we... Busy night.
Are we in New York?
I know, right?
A little bit.
It's all happening here.
But so we've got frequency and we vibrate. There is, at an atomic level, you've got an electron or electrons flying around and they're kind of going to a certain beat. But however, they're sticky together enough that we can have buildings and hands and skin that connects to muscle and bone. So when you say frequency, are we talking about, because I've seen there's some videos like, if you have ADHD, listen to this frequency now. It will calm you down and XYZ.
Interesting.
But I'm sure everyone's TikTok's full of that kind of stuff. Instagram Reels, what have you. But frequency for you, what are you seeking? A certain frequency? Are you trying to tune into one? Do you listen to tuning forks? What's the modus operandi on that one?
Well, I did a manifestation course at the end of last year, and it was all about frequency. And so each time I met with my mentor, she would ask me, who was actually my Reiki person, she would ask me where I was at in the frequency chart in terms of, and that frequency chart would refer to really feeling positive, but just feeling positive to like, oh, I'm okay, to like, I feel like real crap. So that was a really interesting journey.
So they don't refer to cyclical rates at all? Like they don't chuck a number on it?
How do they rate it?
I guess it was, you could sort of see it as a
high,
1 to 10.
medium, low.
Yeah, you could see that. Yeah, high, medium, low. And it was kind of like, you could see the colours as well would sort of shift. I just found, it was really nice when I could be like, I can't remember now, but just like one of the higher ones, I was like, oh, that's kind of a good feeling. And also, but connecting with that feeling and what was kind of going on with my life. And so what was happening with that, I was also, every day as part of my task, homework, I would write 3 things that I was grateful for each day. And 3 learnings that I had of that day. And it was almost like, once again, starting to switch your mind. And I was kind of going on this journey, dealing with a lot of personal things, feeling like a lot of the time I was coming at her going, I'm dealing with this, I'm really stressed, and going, gee, I'm doing this manifestation course and I'm not even like trying to, build myself up. But there was a switch that kind of happened, and like, it's a personal journey, and all these things just started, I'm not going woo-woo here, but all these things just opened up for me. And even my friend called me Abundant Arna. And I just sort of shifted and just felt more empowered and started to own a lot of these doors that were just opening. And I was like, well, that's interesting. I did happen to do a manifestation course, but I wasn't thinking like all these things were going to kind of happen. But I started to realize that if my mind just sort of but stayed in that positive mindset, things start getting attracted to you. And even in those moments, I felt like I was celebrating myself, and people were celebrating me in ways that I'd never experienced my whole entire life. And it just felt so uplifting and powerful. And I started to feel like I deserve those things, and I should embrace those things and own those things, rather than partaking in so much stuff that I could talk about going, oh, I did this, but I don't know if I really deserve to be there. I was starting to really sit in spaces going, this is me, and I'm going to share me, and people seem to be accepting me, and this is a beautiful thing, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this course and this just even open. I think it's almost like doing counseling, openly talking about things. You know what I mean? And changing your mindset, writing things down does shift.
This is what people don't understand is they think, oh yeah, I'm just going to rattle off a bunch of words today and, you know, I'm sure things will start changing for me. And it's like, no, you literally have to like do the work and like believe it. Because if you don't believe it, then nothing's going to happen. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah.
So it's all well and good like saying these affirmations or saying or, you know, whatever. But if you don't believe them, then they're not going to happen. So
yeah,
I think it's like you obviously believe that, you know, you deserved those things that were coming to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so therefore, you know, once you believed it, they started coming to you.
Yeah.
You know?
And I also stopped caring about what other people thought about me, which doesn't always happen. But that particular time I was like, I can't keep living in fear of other people's opinions. Yeah. And it was in those moments of going, this is who I am, like wearing certain clothes or like even like wearing my hair out when I work out or whatnot. Yeah. I was in circumstances where people were really celebrating me, my femininity and making comments. And I was like, oh, I never get that. I always wanted that. Yeah. And I was like, I'm not seeking it. I'm not like, please like me or say I look like this or whatnot. But I was owning who I was. So I just happened to be attracting these comments. And I was like, I'm feeling like a vibe today. But that doesn't always feel the same way. Every day can feel different. But it's those reminders of those circumstances that make you go, oh, I have control and power over how I feel. Yeah. And that is going to attract these type of circumstances or people. I'll even give you an example today. So today I had a bad day yesterday, just stuff. And today I woke up and I was just like, no, I just want to feel good. I deserve to feel good. So I chucked on my baggy trackies. You saw me in the morning, put my hat on. I was like, nah, I'm just like, it's 5:50 in the morning. Who's wearing a hat? I'm like, I am. And then I went, you know what I mean? I'm just like, I just need to feel good. I want to wear a damn hat. Yeah, I'm a creative. I'm an artist. I don't want to be conform to everyone. This is me. I'm an individual. And then I went to my next workout. And as I was crossing the street, I saw one of the ladies that who normally works out at the other Pilates place. But she works next door. And she's calling out to me. She's like, I just want to stop you. She goes, I just love your, she's much older. She's like, I just love your whole vibe. And I'm like, that's so really nice. Sweet. And this is like, I complimented you too, though, if you remember. Did you? I was like, oh, I love that color. Oh, yes, you did. Girl. Of my outfit. Girl. But she took it a next step further. She was like, I just want to say, this is so random. She's married with kids. Yeah. She's like, if I was gay, I would so go for you. I was like, what the hell? The ultimate compliment. The ultimate compliment. But she's just like, you're just the way you put yourself together and just who you are as a person. Yeah, that's so like, nice. I really needed that because I had a shit day yesterday and it reminded me if I stand in my power and just put that BS aside and just go, I'm here to just experience life and just put my best foot forward. It's crazy what kind of comes at you and you go, that's the smallest thing, but that meant the world. You know what I mean? Yes. Yeah. I love like also combating negative energy. So like I think this is the Aries in me though, because another thing that Aries don't like are, you know, people being picked on or whatever. So if they see that, they will stand up for them. And it goes back to that time I was telling Arna, there was this, you know, quite negative lady and she made a comment on one of the people that, you know, was working there at the time that she didn't particularly enjoy the class. And now I was just sort of around, there were other people around. I just happened to hear what she was saying and saw the look on the trainer's face. And I was just like, kind of not sure who this woman was. I didn't know if she was her boss. I didn't know if she had some authority over her, but it seemed like she was a bit of a know-it-all. And I was like, so I kind of didn't say anything at the time. But then once she walked away, I was like, hang on, no, I don't think that was her boss. And I was like, oh my God, if she was just a woman in the class, like that is so out of line. Number one, to say it in front of everybody, so everybody could hear her comment. And number two, like, you know, the trainer had another trainer there. Like she wouldn't have wanted her to hear that. Like it was just so like such poor form on her behalf. And it also affected me. Like just hearing her say that to somebody else. Like I was like, that is so mean
and so nasty, and I'm not having it. So I went up to the trainer afterwards and I was like, just so you know, like, I thought it was a great class. And I sort of just made that little comment to her, and she was like, thank you so much. And you could see that, like, you know, it changed her, you know, kind of morning. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning, for God's sake. Like, obviously that woman just is a bit of a Karen. But, you
And
know,
also
I
low
was just like,
vibrational.
yes. Just,
To be so
but I'm like,
negative
how
at
can
that
you be
time.
so negative that early in the morning? Like, you know what I mean?
I think a lot of people wouldn't have any trouble with being that negative in
But
the
that's
morning.
what I mean. Like, I was like, no, not having it. You've just ruined that lady's morning. You know, you've ruined my morning. I'm not having it, you know? So it's like, I think it's important to just not let that negative energy, like, get to you or to other people. Just try to keep good
Just be
vibes.
polite in society.
Exactly.
It's
yeah.
some things that some people do is just absolutely insane. I really enjoy. I think I when I was working at a large internet company, I was working with this guy, and he was always too cool for school, and he was always like shooting down people's ideas, going like, oh, that's such a nerdy thing to like. That's such a waste of time. And I'm like, okay. And
Says you.
But he would never have. He didn't have a chink in his armor. Like, there was just nothing you could kind of have a little. You know, he never got any comeuppance. He was always too cool, always like nonchalant, and just nothing stuck. And then one time in this meeting, we had this woman present an e-safety thing, and this is pretty exciting for a room full of nerds.
Yeah.
And on her laptop, she had like a sticker that had like the fictional company from like Lost. That was like that Japanese rotoretic company. Deep reference there. But it was important because like everyone who saw Lost knew that, but only the nerds would remember the nerdy bit of it, which was the more technical. Anyway, I saw it. I'm like, that's bait. I'm not going to say anything. And these two other guys who were a lot nerdier than me and had a lot less self-control were like, oh, that's from Lost. Oh, I said, ooh, and I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, they fell for that one. And and so anyway, then this guy essentially said like, oh, I apologize for them. And, you know, he's saying stuff. Anyway, in the meeting's happening, and she had some other stickers as well that were all equally nerdy. And she's like, yep, cool, guys. Can we get back to the meeting? Anyway, but so we're going on, and she was talking about security and passcodes, and like, you should have an easy passcode that's easy for someone to see. And, you know, and keep them protected. And he said, and this is, I have no idea why he said this. It's so out of character, but he said something like, oh yeah, like on the train, I'm, you know, always looking over people's shoulders, and it's funny how simple their passcodes are. And I'm like, this is it. So pull the bloody levers. And I'm like, actually, that's really creepy, guy. You shouldn't be doing that. That's really weird. And he's like, no, it's not. Everyone's like, oh, actually, that's a little bit problematic. And I cut that dude down so hard and fast. His head was spinning for the next half an hour of that meeting. Yeah, so there's polite society, but I think people need to get taken down a peg every so often as well, you know. And they need a little bit of that poison back at them. Yeah, exactly. And we got along fine, but I'm just kind of like, you can't be shooting everyone down. You got to have a little bit of that reflected back at you, buddy. Look in the mirror, you know. But yeah, and that ruined his day. But he had ruined so many other people's days. It's nice to get one up on him.
Had to be, what do you reckon he was?
And no one laughed louder. It was hilarious. Like, because everyone knew no one could get him, and I got him. It was great.
Seriously, I feel like that would have to do with like the planetary alignment in terms of your birth charts.
I was feeling that Neptune absolutely on my cold shoulder. It was
because I've had circumstances where I've stood up for things that if I were to tell you what they were, you're like, that's really obvious. But I haven't had necessarily that, you know, I really got that person to fully really think about that. You kind of met with some defensiveness and stuff, and you're like, gee, Farah, I'm talking about the obvious. I'm saying this politely, but I'm being met with resistance or uncomfortableness, and I feel like, you're like, what's that? Is it me? And you start to think, oh, it's me, I'm the problem, the way I say it. But then I feel like it's got to do with just that clash of energy alignment, planetary alignment, because I'm just like, I just said the most obvious thing. It obviously comes from a care factor, but I'm being made to feel like, Oh, really? Like, I'm talking about like food handling, cleanliness, like obvious stuff.
Yeah.
But someone being like, oh, I don't know, I haven't noticed, or I don't want to say anything. I'm like, far out. This is like,
It's crazy how badly they
they've
can
got a
take
license.
Yeah.
They need to be like making sure they're not using their hands and then wiping their face. I saw it.
Yeah.
But do you know what I'm saying? So it's interesting that in the light of justice, how some of those circumstances work and some of them don't. And it's seriously got to do with that energy transfer, your planetary alignment, because sometimes you're like, I just said the most obvious thing that you should have a care factor about, but right now I'm being met with like, that's a problem that I'm mentioning that someone should be following lawful and, you know, hygiene practice, but okay, I'm the problem, not the person touching their face who's signed a certificate. Do you know what I mean? Like that's, so it's really interesting to hear that circumstance with you, how you really felt, you walked away from that going, I actually kind of got that person to think, I didn't hold myself back, and I felt like I actually contributed to going, hey, are we all in agreement with this? This is not kind of cool behavior. Yeah. So like success story at your end, but it's interesting how it doesn't always flow that way.
Well, it's I mean, like, you know, you're driving and someone's on their phone or something, you give them a honk and they'll look really angry.
Yeah,
like you've just
I haven't done anything wrong.
You just took a whiz in their coffee or something. Or even, gosh, like, I think there was another example that I've now forgotten that. But yeah, you can tell someone, hey, that's not okay. I think I never comment anything on social media ever. But one time there was this truck driver and he was clearly looking at the scenery in the background. I'm like, you know,
driving while
could
filming.
you please not film TikToks when you're going that
so
fast?
many people do.
And he responded like, oh, okay, Karen. And like no one upvoted him. And I'm like, yeah, because this is like, dude, please don't. That could kill like 5 cars.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
And I just can't believe that people, I love these, like this is a total aside, I'm not for the government or anything, but these new phone cameras or whatever.
Yeah.
So overdue. I mean, there are people who are like got 2 and there's the guys who have like the 10 of them all up at once, and that's not safe.
No, it's not.
What's happening?
Yeah, you know, like people are distracted. They got like, say you're an Uber driver and you got 10 apps open at the same time. You'll have 10 phones or you'll have like, I think the Uber drivers are the safest, the ones that have the Bluetooths all day and they like are seemingly talking for 24 hours a day. Just like, yeah, no, that's good. I'll talk to you about that later.
Yeah.
Who knows what? I would love to listen to a translated version of whatever the hell they're talking about, because it's got to be interesting.
Yeah.
There's something going on.
I know whenever I get in an Uber, they're always talking to someone. I'm like, who are you talking to and what are you talking to them about?
Yeah.
Chuck it on loudspeaker. Because if there's any gossip in the world, it's there. Something's happening.
Something's going on.
Yeah.
We want to know about it.
But they're the safest guys out there. If I see a Bluetooth, I'm like, no problem. It's these guys that have the phone and they're not committing to, I'm going to use the phone in the car.
Yeah, or even if they have it on the stand in the car, they're like not looking at the road, they're looking at the camera.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are you driving and filming at the same time?
Or even my motorbike, it's got a nice big screen on there that has like, it's like a screen that has like the speedometer, tachometer, fuel, all that other stuff.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, what's it? You know, people who aren't up to the digs with the new bikes and what they've got. And they're like, oh, and what's that? And I'm like, oh, that's a screen. You chuck Netflix on there. They're like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, no. I mean,
I'm driving.
But the fact that that's even half believable is, I think that's such a problem. Like, oh, what are you watching anything good lately? it's like, you shouldn't be okay with this. You should be saying, I think that's the most dangerous place to have a screen.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the world we're living in. Because if you did that in like the 90s, well, they'll probably be surprised there's a screen there at all. But, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, but I'm
anyway.
getting excited over here.
Yeah.
A lot of things I want to grump about. We haven't done a podcast in a while.
We haven't.
So it's...
No, we haven't. I think we've...
that's pretty... 1 hour 3.
Holy dooly.
Yeah, that was easy.
I think that covers bonus content as well.
Are we still doing bonus content? I thought that was the season 1 thing.
Oh.
We just go now. Well,
yeah.
Arna, do you have any closing remarks?
Yes, I do.
Please. You got anything to plug or any things you want to advertise or something?
Yep, I do.
Please, go.
I'd just like to shout out to all my Virgos out there. We're great.
Absolutely.
And we know it. No, Virgos are the best star sign. Thank God for Virgos. We keep the world running not in its current state, but
They're working for the good parts of it,
when
not
it
the
was
bad.
when it was going good.
when it was going good. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I get really excited when I meet fellow Virgos, and I love Virgos that know that they're a Virgo. If I meet a Virgo that doesn't know they're a Virgo, they're an utter disappointment to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're not a
Virgos
true
do better.
Virgo.
Yeah, you got to true it up.
Yeah, because Virgos get Virgos because we think and talk very differently. Because our mind is like a computer. We're just different. Anyway, yeah, so that's all I wanted to say. But thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun.
More than welcome. I think this was a very fun kind of. This was
It
fun.
was a fun topic.
Yeah.
What about your friend? Do you want to say happy birthday?
Oh, yes. Happy birthday. She's a Saggy. Well, am I allowed to say that? Because depending on when
we air it, it might be too late.
Yeah, so maybe don't include the birthday shout out, I think, yeah.
That's right.
Up to you, Loggy.
I'll figure it out.
But yeah. All right, cool. Amazing. Thanks, Arna.
Thank you.
Oh, and don't forget to subscribe.
Do all that.
And do your birth chart.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Yes.
Pick it up.
Up to it.